What are some right now? I mean, in terms of the work that you're doing, and the terms the work that the World Food Program is doing, what are some of the hunger hotspots that people don't know about that where what you just touched on, that where people are on the verge of starvation, where there are such needs that are so acute because of either failed governments or failed or even our own failed policies.
There are 45 million people of famine in 43 countries around the world.
Hmm.
And foremost among them is Afghanistan,
Yeah.
Ethiopia, Yemen, Nigeria in the northeastern part, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Madagascar. And you're right, Chris. The primary drivers of hunger today are conflict, climate change, corruption, and we've added the fourth C of COVID.
Hmm.
We were making great progress, amazing progress against hunger and extreme poverty. Thanks to Bono and his One campaign, forcing politicians to take a different look. Thanks to George W. Bush and his presidential emergency plan for AIDS relief in Africa. Thanks to the Millennium Challenge Corporation. Thanks to a whole bunch of stuff. But in recent years, even pre-COVID, that had started to tick up again, and unfortunately is going in the wrong direction. And then the other thing I'll say about that is it's so overwhelming. Yeah. What can I do to make a difference, right? So I'm sure some of your listeners are asking that right now. I remember being in 8th grade when that great famine in Ethiopia was hitting. We remember that. We're all of a certain age, of rapidly approaching middle age. And my friend and I were there at the dinner at school, PTA something, and we had some leftover rice. Well, let's send this over to Mr. Ethiopia. Well, obviously it doesn't work like that. So I've been trying to find ways of making a difference ever since. And with Growing Hope Globally, it's an amazing way of one person, one community, one rural church, one farmer being able to make a difference because of the collective impact of coming together. So it might be that a few $100s at planting season becomes a few $1,000s at harvest season. It's multiplied like 5 loaves and 2 fish. And a farmer might get some support for seed or fertilizer. And the farmer, him or herself, is donating their labor and maybe their land. And then the church might have an auction or a fundraiser or a special offering to top off what that looks like in the end. And so these rural communities are donating thousands of dollars. And you'll have a growing project, as we call it, in Michigan, and one in Indiana, and one in Pennsylvania, and one in Washington State, all come together to fund a program overseas. Right now, we don't have any growing projects in Arizona. So I would love to be working with some of your listeners to create whatever the first one in the Grand Canyon state might look like. I know you guys are a desert, but you grow a ton in the desert.
Yeah, we
and
do.
It could be a farmer's market. So on our website, growinghopeglobally.org, we have a ton of different resources, tools in the toolbox for folks asking the question, what can I do? How can I get started?
That's great.
That's great.
Well, we will, I have a few people pop to mind that we should be talking to.
Absolutely. Arizona should be a part of this effort for sure.
Because we've got 5 C's. They're different than the C's that you listed. But, well, climate's one of them, not change, just climate.
Yeah, just climate, just heat.
But we do have a robust agriculture industry here.
One of them being citrus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That can be leveraged for something like this.
No question.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the other great thing is there's so much creativity and innovation out there. We don't have a one size fits all model. We are open to all sorts. And as long as there's some connection to agriculture or even food processing. Chris, I'm looking forward to our first brewery saying we want to support Growing Hope with that, or a vineyard, or whatever it might be. So I'm excited about what you guys are thinking about and what God might have in mind.
That's good.
I just had like 3 breweries just pop up in my head
That's right.
that I think would actually that we should double back and touch base on, because I think they would be really interested in what you're doing.
Who knew that you could listen to Light Beer Dark Money and start to be a little part of changing the
world.
landscape on world hunger? That's why we have great
Amen.
guests like
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. And it's really important, the work that everyone's doing in this regard. So thank you for your vision and for your leadership.